everybody, and welcome to the April Blazie Technologies webinar. We're so glad that so many of you could join us tonight. We have a really exciting software update for BT Speak and BT Braille to cover tonight. And just before we get there, I'm going to hand it off to Brian Blazie here, who's going to tell you some other exciting things.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Blazie. I have a couple of announcements to make before we get started. The first of which is to tell you about a couple of exciting AI tools. The details are going to come a little later in the form of a demo, but we've added a whole suite of AI tools to our editor and a few other things. And the AI tools are going to be free to anybody who has a maintenance contract. Essentially, what's happening is we pay a subscription fee for those. Typically, those fees, if you were to buy a key, runs about $20 a month, or the cost of a maintenance contract. But with us, we buy a corporate key and include that for free with the maintenance contract. So that is one more value that you get. It almost covers the entire cost of that contract. It's a pretty nice thing. The other thing I wanted to mention briefly is the status of BT Braille. BT Braille is progressing quite nicely. We've got a nice physical design right now, and the software is moving along. All of the early adopter units, or almost all of the early adopter units, are in hands of people. Some are still in the mail, and I think we have one or two that we are still trying to get shipped. But we have all of them here and ready to go as soon as we get the details worked out with the customers. The early release is going about as expected. We've run into a few problems. We've corrected them, and we're getting exchange units out to customers as necessary and updates to customers as quickly as we can. The software team is doing an amazing job of moving this thing along at a nice, rapid pace. And with that, David, let's go to you.
Thanks, Brian. That's a really exciting update, and we're going to be happy. Tim and I will show you some of these AI tools that Brian has mentioned. Before we get to the AI tools, I want to first talk about something that went live last month, but we haven't officially demoed it yet. I think it's about time we did that. We really want our users to enjoy the BT Speak and the BT Braille, and we really want them to go to town with it. Well, tonight we literally are going to go to town with it because we have a new town in the BT Speak and the BT Braille that appropriately we call BT Town. So there's a lot you can do in BT Town, and there's going to be a lot more in the future that we're building. But BT Town is up and running for business, and I'm going to do a demo of that. So in order to do that, so I have a BT Speak on, and let's go to the options menu. With O-Chord. We'll do A for applications.
Applications menu.
And we'll press G for games.
Games menu.
And we will press B for BT Town.
BT Town.
We'll press enter to open that.
Announcement. Welcome to BT Town. You are in a private room. When you're ready, type G to go somewhere else in the town.
Okay, so I'm kind of in a private room. There's really nothing going on in this room, but we're going to fix that. And we're going to press G for go.
Where do you want to go? Tavern, 2 players.
Okay, so there's a bunch
No
of
response from server.
There's a bunch of sorry about that. There's a bunch of rooms and places that we can go. The first is the tavern. It's telling me that there are 2 players in the tavern. So there are 2 people in there. I don't know who they are, but we'll find out in a bit. But there's some other rooms.
Town Square, 0 players.
So there's the town square in BT Town. Right now there are 0 players or people in that area.
Private room, 0 players.
There's a private room. By the way, I'm just using standard menu navigation commands to do this, just .4 chord or .1 chord.
Chapel, 0 players.
I can also press the space bar to move forward, as I can in other menus, and .7 or the backspace key to move back. There's a chapel.
Game room, 0 players.
There's a game room.
Wharf, 0 players.
There's a wharf.
Tavern, 2 players.
And there's the tavern. So it's telling me there are 2 people in the tavern. And I hope that's true, because otherwise I'm going to be all alone and that'll be really sad. So let's press enter and see what we hear.
You are going to tavern. Announcement. David Goldfield has entered the tavern.
Okay. So there's a lot that we're hearing here in the background. I'm in the tavern and we hear several things. First, there's some background music. We can increase or decrease the volume of that music if we want, and I'll show you how we can do that. There's also a lot of background activity. That's not from the 2 people that are in here. That's just stuff going on all the time. You'll hear, I just heard a woman laughing. I hear someone whistling, clattering, clanking dishes, all the things you would expect in a tavern. You might hear people walking back and forth.
The bartender says, "What can I get for you?" The laughter and stories here really warm the heart.
Okay, that's our AI bartender, who's working 24/7 to serve food and drinks virtually to anyone who's in the tavern. And he kind of pops in from time to time, makes little comments, offers to serve you something to eat or drink.
Announcement. Keo has entered the tavern.
Okay, so we have someone else.
Announcement. Pretty Kitty has entered the tavern.
It's a very popular night for the tavern. So we have several people coming in, and as they come in, it announces them. It said Keo has entered the tavern and Pretty Kitty has entered the tavern. When you first open BT Town, you will be asked for a username. Now, you could use your first name, or in this unit, I've used my full name so everybody sees me as David Goldfield, but you can use an alias. So we have someone named Pretty Kitty. I've seen a few other aliases from time to time, and that's perfectly okay. You'll also hear, occasionally I hear a dog. I'm sure it's a service animal, so they're allowed. And I've even heard a cow once in a while, so you never know who's hanging out in this tavern. So we can do a few things while we're in here. We can actually have a one-on-one chat with the AI bartender. So let's try that. I'm going to press E for environment.
What would you like to interact with? Objects examine items in the room.
So it can give me a list of objects that are in the room.
NPCs talk to characters.
NPCs
The
are...
bartender says, "What drink can I fix you tonight?" The crackling fire adds a cozy touch to our gathering.
Yeah, I guess the bartender really doesn't want me to just sit here. Really wants me to buy a drink. That's okay. NPCs, that's non-playable characters or non-player characters. NPCs are basically AI bots. They're not.
Martin has entered the tavern.
They're not real people. Okay,
The bartender says, "What's tickling your fancy tonight?" The warmth of the hearth is calling for some good company.
By the way, we can mute that bartender. So if you don't want to hear those AI announcements popping in, you can disable that, and then you can re-enable it. But I'm going to choose to chat with an NPC character, and then we'll actually chat with whoever's in the room.
Available NPCs interactions. Talk to bartender.
Okay, I'm going to press enter for talk to bartender.
Announcement. Austin has entered the tavern. Chatting with bartender. Enter message. Press Z chord to exit.
Okay, so it's telling me I'm in a chat mode with the
Chris
bartender.
Said, "Hi, David." Literary Braille input.
And
Keo says, "Hi, all this is for the demo."
And people are saying hi. Everyone's saying hi to me. Okay, so I'm going to chat with them soon because I want to chat with some real people. But I'll do a quick chat with the bartender, and I'll just say hi. I'm just typing that in. and I'll press enter. He should respond.
The bartender says, "Hello there. Welcome to my tavern. What can I get for you today? A drink, maybe? Or perhaps you're in the mood for some local gossip?"
So I'm going to ask,
The bartender
and
says, "What's your pleasure tonight? The ambience here is just right. Literary Braille input."
okay, I'm going to set press .56 chord to turn on literary Braille input so I can type in grade 2 Braille. I'm going to write, "Do you have root beer?" I'm a big fan of root beer. Okay, let's press enter.
The bartender says, "Absolutely. I've got some nice, frothy root beer right here. It's a favorite around these parts. Would you like a glass?"
I'm going to say sure.
The bartender says, "Coming right up. Star, I pour a refreshing glass of root beer. The bubbles fizzing as it fills. Star, here you go. Enjoy that delightful sweetness. Anything else on your mind while you sip?" Announcement. Austin has disconnected from the room.
And I'm going to write, "How about a chocolate cookie?" Press enter.
The bartender says, "Oh, you're in luck. I've just baked a fresh batch of chocolate cookies. They're warm and gooey, perfect with that root beer. I'll get one for you right away. Star, I hand you a cookie. It's rich chocolate aroma wafting through the air. Star, enjoy. How's that pairing treating you?"
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to get out of this chat mode. I'm going to press Z chord.
Conversation ended.
Okay, and I'm going to
The bartender
mute.
says, "What can I pour for you?" The clinking of mugs and laughter fills the air tonight.
Now I'm going to mute him, and the way we're going to do that is to press S for settings.
Settings menu. Mute AI NPC dialog.
So I'm going to mute the AI NPC non-player character dialog by pressing enter.
AI NPC dialog is now muted.
So now those random comments from the bartender will not be heard, but I want to chat with some real people. By the way, I'll show you some other things in the settings menu.
Settings menu. Mute AI NPC dialog. Global volume.
We can change the global volume. So the music, all the background stuff, we can make that louder or softer. But we can individually adjust those. So sometimes what I like to do, especially if it's during the day, I'm doing work-related stuff for the company, I like to have this on in the background, but I like to turn down the music. So I'll just
Music volume.
go down to music volume and press enter.
Music volume 20%. Press .4 to increase. .1 to decrease. Press enter to exit.
So you know how in speech controls you can press .4 to make the BT speak louder and .1 to make it softer? Well, now that I've chosen music volume, I can do the same thing.
Decreased 15%.
I'm going to press
Decreased
.1,
10%.
and you hear it getting lower
Decreased 5%.
and lower.
Decreased 0%.
There we go. I'm going to press
Exit.
Z chord. So now the music is totally down, but all the sound effects, oh, there's that guide dog. The sound effects are still there. I kind of like that. It's very nice background noise. So now I want to.
Marty says, "Meow."
I want to see. I want to see.
Keo says, "Lol."
Yeah, see, when you're doing these live demos, you never know what these guys are going to say. Okay, and those are not AIs, by the way. These are real people, including some of our customers that are in here right now. I want to see who's in here before I go into chat, so I'm going to press L to look around.
A quaint, yet lively tavern where townsfolk are gathered, talking, drinking, and playing games. It smells of roasted meat and spilled ale, and a fire crackles in a large stone hearth. You see these players in the room: Chris, Ben, Keo, Pretty Kitty, and Martin.
Okay, so we got Chris and Ben from our team, and we've got a few customers as well. So I'm going to go into chat mode.
Announcement. Austin has entered the tavern.
There's
Chat
Austin.
mode. Enter message. Press Z chord to exit.
Okay.
Literary Braille input.
And the reason why I just have this set right now for
Announcement.
literary
Elijah has entered the tavern.
Braille. Oh, cool. We got Elijah in the tavern. Hey, wow. We got a full tavern tonight. That's really good. Hope you guys are going to buy me some root beer. Okay, so now I can type in grade 2 Braille, and I'll just say, "Hey there." With all the grade 2 Braille contractions that I know and love, press enter.
Keo says, "Yay, full house tonight."
I'm going to type, "Hey, Keo." 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 I'm going to type, "Hey
Pretty Kitty says, hi David. Pretty Kitty is Andrea. Martin says, get this man a root beer. Keo says, hi David. Elijah says, this is a test. Ben says, hi, David. Keo says, it works.
All right.
Chris says, hi Austin.
By the way,
Keo says, sorry, lol.
I can review the chat history by pressing
Pretty Kitty
.1
says,
chord.
great way to practice Braille.
So yes, it is a great way to practice Braille, Pretty Kitty. I agree with you. So if I missed that message, I could press .1 chord.
Pretty Kitty says, great way to practice Braille.
And I could keep going up
Keo says,
through the
sorry, lol.
chat history. Of course, I can press .4 chord to go
Pretty
down.
Kitty says, great way to practice Braille.
So this is really cool. We've had one of our customers using the tavern to have sort of a trivia night. This was, I think, about a week ago. So I see a lot of potential for this and a lot of things that we could do here. If I want to exit the chat, I can press Z chord.
Hi, Chris. Chat mode closed.
And we can press
Keo says, hey, Chris.
E for environment to see what kind of things are in this tavern.
What would you like to interact with? Objects examine items in the room.
Let's see what objects are in the tavern.
Available objects interactions. Examine wooden bar.
So there's a wooden bar. I'll move down through the list with .4 chord.
Examine game tables.
There's a game table.
Examine stone hearth.
A stone hearth.
Examine long table.
A long table.
Examine BT Braille.
And what do you know? There's a BT Braille in the tavern. Let's press enter on that and see what we hear.
BT Braille, an early adopter 20-cell BT Braille sits on a table by a customer who is happily trying out new features.
Okay, so there you go. Now from here, there are a couple of other things we could do. We could press O to see what options
Mish 1000 has entered
are
the tavern.
available. So we'll press O.
Select a command. See chat.
So now if I press .4 chord, I can go through the list of options.
E interact.
E interact.
G go to another place.
G go to another place.
H help.
Help.
I inventory.
Could see what my inventory is.
M map.
There's a map.
S settings.
And S for settings, we saw a little bit of that.
Q quit. Mish
And
1000 says,
quit.
hey guys, it's Brandon. See chat.
Now, I'll just very quickly go to one of the other areas in the town.
E interact.
I'll press G for go.
Where town square, 0 players.
Okay.
No response from server. Please try
Let's
again.
go
Town
to
square, 0 players.
the town square by pressing enter.
Pretty Kitty says, hey Brandon, welcome. You are going to town square. Announcement, David Goldfield has entered the town square. Announcement, Elijah has entered the town square. Announcement, Martin has entered the town square. Announcement, Ben has entered the town square. Announcement, Chris has entered the town square.
Hey, you guys are
lol.
You guys are following me around the town, man. That's kind of cool.
Announcement, Keo has entered the town square.
So now,
Ben says, yes, we are.
yes.
Pretty Kitty has entered the town square.
So the town square, of course, has different sound effects than the tavern. I hear some chickens and animals, and there's sound effects of people all around. I'll show you one more area. We'll press G for go
Where
to.
do you want to go?
And
Tavern,
let's
2 players.
go to the wharf.
You are going to wharf. Announcement, David Goldfield has entered the wharf. Announcement, Martin has entered the wharf. Announcement, Keo has entered the wharf. Announcement, Chris has entered the wharf. Chat mode, enter message, press Z chord to exit.
Just right.
Announcement,
Hey there.
Mitch 1000 has entered the wharf. Announcement, Ben has entered the wharf. Keo says, this is nice. Announcement, Pretty Kitty has entered the wharf.
It's also very
Martin
nice
says, lol.
sound effects to have in the background. I kind of like that. So I'll press
Announcement, Austin has entered the wharf.
Z chord exit chat.
Chat mode closed.
Now, even
Mitch 1000 says,
if you
lol.
exit the chat, you're still going to hear what the other players in the room or in this area are saying.
Ben says, hey there.
So, not that I want to leave you guys, but I'm
Keo
going to
says,
exit, and I'm going to do that by pressing Q to quit.
Are you sure you want to leave BT Town? Yes, leave BT Town.
Okay, so if I don't, I can just press no. If I say yes.
See you again soon. BT Town.
So that is a quick demo of what we have right now in BT Town. And the reason why I say what we have right now is because BT Town, like any town, is constantly growing, and new rooms and other interesting surprises that I can't talk about right now are going to be added. This has a lot of potential, and I see us doing a lot of things with this that maybe right now we can't do. Just as an example, maybe we could have special webinars or events specifically and exclusively for our customers. We might, I, I'd like to see some contests associated with it. I have a lot of ideas kind of growing in my head about ways that we could harness BT Town for our users. BT Town is available now on any BT Speak or BT Braille. Even if you don't have a service contract, we implemented this in the March update, and that update is free for everyone. So if you don't have the March 2026 update, I do encourage you to install it. It's as simple as pressing O chord for options, M for BT Speak Management, and U for check for updates. It'll say a new update is available. Do you want to install it? Press Y for yes. Could take about maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, depending on the speed of your internet connection. Your BT Speak will restart, and then you can dive into BT Town with options, applications, games, and BT Town. Again, this is what we have right now, but it is going to grow, and some exciting features are going to be added, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this town thrives. For those who are curious, BT Town is only available in our product, so there isn't, you can't access it on your phone or your computer. You really have to have a BT Speak or BT Braille in order to go to town in BT Town. So if you do have a BT Speak or BT Braille, we hope that you use it, and maybe you'll find some interesting ways of interacting with other users. As I said, we already had a trivia night. We had nothing to do with that, by the way. That was done by one of our users, and other users came in to join him, and it sounded like it was a lot of fun. So that's a sample of BT Town, and we hope you like what you heard. And if you have a BT Speak, we hope you go into BT Town and give it a try. Let us know about any things you'd like to see added to it, any changes you'd like to make. We already have some ideas of things that we would like to do, but you might have some thoughts that we haven't thought of. Okay, that's BT Town. And now, Tim, if you are ready, I'm going to kick it over to you to start the demos of these AI features that we've been just hinting at. But I think it's now time to lift the lid.
Thank you, David. So we actually developed these tools a long time ago, but at that stage we didn't have a way to basically have a standard way for people to be able to use them without having their own AI keys. If you're familiar with AI chat, you'll know that you need to download and purchase an OpenAI key, etc. And the same with Ask AI, you need that key. So this system now, as Brian already alluded to, for people with a service contract, does give you access to the Google Gemini service. And these are tools directly available from within the editor. So we basically access them from the editor menu. So I'll just press E chord.
Editor menu.
And if I go up with .4 chord,
AI tools, I.
you'll hear AI tools, and its shortcut is I. So I'm going to press enter to select that.
AI menu.
So we're in the AI menu. So I'll just walk you through it, and then we'll have a quick look at how these tools work.
Ask question.
So you can ask a question. Now, this is very similar to the Ask AI aspect of AI chat that some of you may know. It basically looks at the current line or whatever's selected in your document, and that is the question, and then it gives you the answer and puts that into a temporary buffer into the file viewer. So you can read that answer, you can copy it and paste it or do whatever you want with, or you can just Z-core to get out of that. So it's not a tool at this stage for asking questions about your document. It just takes the question that you've selected.
Spell check. S.
Spell check. Now, I just should say these are all online tools, so you do need an internet connection in order to use these. And this is just our first version of all these tools. We realize the importance of more ways to spell check, but we haven't got much more to say about that right now. But this tool allows you to select part or all of your document and choose this option, and your document will be reviewed and it will be replaced with a spell check corrected version. And I'm pretty sure that it looks at your locale. So if you're in Australia or the UK, then it will work on English spelling. And if you're in the US, then it will work on US spelling. So Zs will become S's and so on, depending on where you are. Now, the thing about this is it just makes all those changes. You can review them. If you're not happy with the result, or you're just nervous about the result, you can always use the undo facility in the editor, Control Z, and that will restore your original text. And that could be just a line that you spell check or even a word.
Grammar check. G.
Grammar check basically looks again at the current line of your document, or you can mark a selection or use Control A to select all of your document, and it will make corrections to your document to proofread it and make it more presentable.
Translate. T.
This tool lets you select a portion of your document or the current line and create a translation of that into another language, and it substitutes that language into your document. We may make changes to this in a future release so that the translation appears in a buffer, a review note, so that you can look at it and paste it rather than it automatically translating and replacing your text. But at the moment, it does a replacement of your, whatever the language is that you've got in your text, to the language that you specify.
Summarize. Z.
You can summarize your document. That summary goes into a temporary file so that you can look at that summary.
Define word. T.
You can define a word. Now, everything to this point works on, if you don't have a mark set, the current line of your document. Going forward, these last few commands that relate to a specific word, look at the word that's under your cursor. So
Define word. T.
you can define a word.
Etymology of word. E.
Etymology, that's basically the origins and evolution of a word, where it came from, how it got to where it is.
Synonyms of word. Y.
Synonyms, things that are similar, like words.
Antonyms of word.
And
N.
antonyms, that's opposites of the word. Now, you can select a phrase and do definition, synonyms, antonyms, and so on, and that whole phrase will be sent to Google to give you the answer.
Ask question.
And we're back to ask a question. So let's just have a quick look at this. I'll just exit
End
out
of
of
file.
here now.
Products. End of file.
I'm just going to type in a word, P-R-O-P-O-S-T-O-R-O-U-S. I don't know how to spell preposterous.
Preposterous.
I have a feeling I spelled it right that time.
R-O.
Let's change that O to an
O.
E.
Preposterous.
And now what I'm going to do, we've got this line,
Preposterous.
has the word preposterous on it. I'm going to do E chord,
Editor menu. AI menu.
I for AI menu, and let's look at spell
Ask
check.
question. Spell check. S. AI spell.
And now
Preposterous.
let's see how it's spelled.
R-E-P-O. Preposterous. Preposterous.
Okay, so I corrected that spelling because I didn't know how to spell it. And now let's get a definition of preposterous. We'll do equal
Editor menu.
I,
AI menu.
and we'll pop down until we get to definition. I know it's D. Let's just hit D.
AI definition.
Now
Viewing
this
AI
definition
response.
is now in the file viewer. So if I read current line,
Here's the definition of preposterous using no.utf8 spelling. Blank.
now that's just saying it's using my locale. So
Preposterous. Adjective. Blank. Meaning. Completely contrary to reason or common sense, utterly absurd or ridiculous. Blank. In simpler terms, it's something so silly or unbelievable that it makes no sense at all. Blank. Examples. Bullet. The idea of a kangaroo wearing a top hat was utterly preposterous.
now clearly it's taken note of my locale, and being in Australia, it's stereotyped kangaroos walking down Main Street, which is very common.
Bullet's excuse for being late was so preposterous, no one believed him.
Okay, so that's how the definition and so on work. If I hit Z chord, I'll be back
Exiting viewer.
into my document. I'll just quickly demonstrate ask a question. So we will
End of file.
go to the bottom of the file
Preposterous.
and I'll just type in what
What?
is
The
the most
most
amazing
amazing
country
country
in
the
the world? Question mark. Now this is the current line, and that's where the question is. So I can just do equal
editor menu.
I,
AI menu.
and
Ask question.
I could hit A, but I'll hit enter on ask question.
AI ask question. Viewing AI response.
Okay.
The text block does not provide enough information to answer the question about the most amazing country in the world. The concept of amazing is subjective and depends on individual preferences, experiences, and criteria.
Well,
Blank.
clearly it's not a very good LLM because it should know that Australia is just extraordinary. But anyway, you get the idea. So this is very similar to the Ask AI or AI Ask feature of AI Chat, but it's available to everybody. And it's a bit easier to use because you just need to have your question on the line. And in addition to that, you can select more of your document and have a long, detailed question, and it will provide the answer. David, do you want me to continue on and demo the repeat speech and speech history features?
Oh, yeah, sure. If you'd like, please do.
And if you want to cover anything else off on the AI after that, I'll hand back to you. So we've done a couple of things to improve clarity of what the BT Speak or the BT Braille has said. As you know, it is a speech-orientated device, or Braille and speech for the BT Braille. And what often happens is it'll say something and then you go, what did it say? And unless it's in the editor, there's no way of knowing.
End of
Well,
file.
we've fixed that. So
Z chord to exit.
I'm just going to exit out of
Exiting
here.
viewer.
All right, so there's a few messages there. If I hit R chord, and you may know that this was review, but we've moved it. If I press R chord now, it will repeat the last thing the BT Speak said.
Exiting viewer.
So you heard it saying exiting viewer a moment ago, and I'll do that again.
Exiting viewer.
It said exiting viewer. If I do R chord with .8, it will copy that message to the clipboard.
14 characters copied.
So if you did a quick count, you'll know that exit viewer is 14 characters. Now that's certainly very helpful to be able to capture to the clipboard or to hear what was said, but we've also added a full speech history now, and it keeps to up to 500 of the last meaningful spoken messages from the BT Speak or BT Braille. So what I'm going to do is hit R chord again with .7, and this will take us into the file viewer, and it will place us on the most recent message that was spoken.
Speech history. Exiting viewer.
Exiting viewer, we've got that. Now if I do .1 chord,
Note55.txt. File 4 of 27.
It says note55.txt. If I go up again,
Z chord to exit.
Z code to exit,
End of file.
end of file. This can be a bit tricky because if you forget you're here and you hear end of file, you may think you're in the editor. So to be sure, you can do a WH chord.
At line 501, viewing speech history.
Okay, so we're at 501. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but
The text block viewing AI response. The text block does not provide enough information to answer the question about the most amazing country.
yes, good. Now the useful thing about this being in the file viewer is you can mark text. You can create a block of text, or you can just use Control C to copy the current line, and you can paste it somewhere else into a Braille file. It obviously, the clipboard automatically translates Braille into text and text into Braille. So here you could, this is great when you're writing notes. David, you may have tried this, that when you're working on documentation, you can run an app and then you can go into the speech history here and copy and paste all of the messages to create your documentation. So it has lots of benefits. I'm going to Z chord to get out of speech history.
Exit.
And if I WH chord now,
Line 37, column 47, in note55.txt.
and I'm in note 55, which is a copy of the release notes. So that's one of the new sets of features that will be turning up in April. I'll hand back to David now.
Thank you so much, Tim. That was great. I do agree. This set of features regarding speech history, being able to review it, copy it, and paste it anywhere will, I think, be very helpful to a lot of people. I'm going to go back to where Tim was with AI, and I will show you the summarize feature. So in my BT Speak, I have a copy of the first 4 chapters of a book. It's Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm going to go into that file now.
Littlewomen.txt.
There we go.
File 2 of 4.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the top of this.
Top of file.
And I want to get a summary of the first 2 chapters. So let's move to the beginning of chapter 1.
H1, part 1. Blank. Number chapter 1, playing pilgrims.
Okay, so I'm on right at the beginning of chapter 1 called Playing Pilgrims. I'm going to put a mark here.
Mark set.
Okay, I did that with M chord. I'm going to move to the next chapter. The way I do that, these chapters have headings, so I'm going to press dots 3, 5, 6 chord to move to the next heading in this book.
H2, chapter 2, A Merry Christmas.
Chapter 2 is called A Merry Christmas, and I want to move past that to the beginning of chapter 3. I'll press 3, 5, 6 chord again to move to the next heading.
H2, chapter 3, The Lawrence Boy.
The Lawrence Boy. Okay, so I am now right past the end of chapter 2, and I have a mark set at the beginning of chapter 1. So this is good because I want to summarize everything from the mark, the beginning of chapter 1, right up to the beginning of chapter 3. So in other words, I want to get a summary of the first 2 chapters. And I'm ready to do that now. So as Tim said earlier, we're going to go into the editor menu with E chord.
Editor menu.
I'll press I, which is the shortcut for AI tools.
AI menu.
And I'm in the AI menu now.
Ask question.
And there's
spell check.
ask questions.
Grammar check.
Spell check.
T.
Grammar check.
Translate. T.
Translate.
Summarize. Z.
And I'm going to show you some of the magic behind the spell check and the grammar check right after this. But
summarize. Z.
I'm on the summarize option. I'm going to press enter.
AI summarize.
It's now
AI response.
Ooh, that was quick. Okay. So I should now have a summary of the first 2 chapters of Little Women. Let's go
Top of file.
to the top. I'm in a temporary viewer, and I'm not going to read the entire summary, but we'll read a small chunk of it so you can see what it did.
The four March sisters Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy face a meager Christmas without presents due to their father's absence in the war and their family's poverty. They decide to forego individual gifts and instead purchase presents for their mother, Marmee. On Christmas morning, instead of presents, they each
Okay, I stopped that with dot 7 and 8, but it seems to have done a very good job summarizing the chapter. This is a summary of chapter 1, Playing Pilgrims. And I could review this just as I review any other file. I can read this line by line, word by word, character by character. I could mark a block of text from this summary and copy and paste it into a document. I'm going to press Z chord,
exiting viewer,
which exits the temporary viewer, and now I'm back in my Little Women file. I can verify that by pressing dots 1, 5, 6 chord.
At line 223, in littlewomen.txt.
Yeah, so, and I want to show you one more final feature before we open it up to any questions that you might have. I have a file.
Questions. File 3 of 4.
That one.
Spelling.
There
File
we go.
4 of 4.
So I have a file called Spelling. It's a very simple file. The first line
file
says,
now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country.
Okay, what it was supposed to be is now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. I misspelled most of the words on that line.
Is.
For example,
time,
I spelled it
T Y I
T Y
M
I M
M
M E. So I really butchered that word.
For al.
I misspelled all.
Good. Men.
I even
E H.
It wasn't obvious with speech, but I misspelled men. I wrote MEHN. I misspelled country also. So,
top of file.
And I also have a grammatically incorrect sentence.
Blank. I ain't going to the store no more.
I wrote, I ain't going to the store no more. I did not capitalize the word I. I is lowercase. And I wrote GOIN for going. So it's definitely grammatically incorrect. I want to spell check this.
Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid. Cap N.
Okay, I'm going to move to the beginning of the now is the time sentence. I'm going to place a mark. And let's move past that line and go to the editor menu, the AI menu, and we'll press S
AI
for spell check.
I ain't going to the store no more.
Okay, now it didn't grammatically check that second line, but it should have fixed.
Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid. Top of file. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country.
Yep, it sounds perfect.
Is.
Let's look at the word time.
Time. T I M E.
Yeah, did a good job. Now let's go to that grammatically incorrect sentence.
I ain't going to the store no more.
I ain't going to the store no more. We'll move to the beginning of the line. I press dots 1, 3 chord for beginning of the line, and I will mark that.
Mark removed. Mark set.
There we go. I had to remove the mark from the top of the file, but now we're
end of file.
Good to go. And I want to grammatically grammar check this. So
editor menu.
Press E chord for the editor menu.
AI menu.
Okay.
Ask question. Spell check. Grammar check. G.
And grammar check.
AI proofread. I am not going to the store anymore.
And it said, and now it changed it to, I am not going to the store anymore.
I am not going to the store anymore.
There we go. What's cool, as Tim said, now I happen to like these changes, but if for some reason I didn't, or if I wanted to reverse it, I can press undo. And what's nice about the undo command is it tells you what it undid. It doesn't just say undo. So if I press Control Z,
undid AI correction.
It says undid AI correction. So it's letting me know that the AI correction that I made has been undone.
Now is the time for all end of file. I ain't going to the store no more.
And now that grammatically incorrect sentence is back. So those are some demos of some of what we are working on. There are some other features that we haven't mentioned. I'm sure the question that's first and foremost on a lot of your minds is, when is this going to be ready? And we are hoping that what you have heard should be ready sometime in April, sometime during this month. We are still in the process of doing some testing, and even though the features that we have shown you are working pretty well, we really want to do some more testing, and we want to make sure that they're working as perfectly as we can. So we will definitely send you an announcement when that update is ready. There are several ways you could get it. One way, if you're on our BT Speak list, is we will definitely send an announcement on that list when the update is available, as we always do. If you are not on our list and would like to be, you can subscribe by emailing btspeak, all one word, BTSPEAK plus subscribe at groups.io. The plus is the plus sign, not the word plus. So it's btspeak plus subscribe at groups.io, and we'll approve you, and then you'll be on our discussion list. It'll also give you a way to see what other users are saying and asking about the BT Speak. And you will also be able to respond to other users, and maybe you can answer their questions and give them some of your own insights and support if you'd like to do that. You can also go to our website if you want to register with us and get announcements about updates that are coming out. You can go to blazietech.com. That's BLAZIETECH.com. And there is a registration form. We don't really ask for a lot of information except for your name and email address. Actually, I'm not even sure if we even ask for your name. It might just be the email address. And then once or twice a month, if that, we send announcements about webinars and all of the updates. So those are two ways you can find out by being in the know about what is being released. We're also on most social media channels, and our website on the Contact Us page has links to our Facebook page, our page on X, and our Mastodon page as well. So if you are on any of those services, we use them all the time to let you know about what updates are available, when our next webinars are, which are the first Tuesday of every month at 7 Eastern Time. Okay, that's it for the announcements and the demos, and I hear some hands being raised. We've only got about 10 minutes, but we'll try to take whatever questions you might have. And Stephen, we'll kick it back to you to unmute people who have questions.
All right, we're going to go to Wesley.
Good evening, guys. I have there's one part of the BT Speak that I've never really understood, and I'm wondering if you guys can shed some light. Both both the original unit that I bought and the unit that I received in as an exchange. It seems like the power percentage that I see is all over the map. Like it doesn't just decrease as you would expect from seeing most devices. And also the exchange unit that I have now, it's developed a weird thing where I don't think it's charging all the way. I'll plug it in overnight and it'll only get up to about 60%. And also then the percentages that I see jump all over the place. And I'm wondering, I'd heard somewhere that this is normal, but I'm feeling a little weird about it.
Yeah, the power estimates can jump a little bit, in particular at the ends of the spectrum. And so, between 0 and 20 and 80 to 100, because of the method that we're doing to quantify or estimate that power level. And so that part is normal. It might be misleading sometimes, but that's expected. And you said you had a problem with the charging. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I plug the unit in, say before I go to bed, wake up, and it's only like at 60 to 65%. Like I can't remember the last time I've seen the unit go up to 100. I didn't know if there was a way to calibrate the battery or what the deal is.
It's Tim here. Have you tried a different charger just to sort of work out whether it,
Yeah,
because that,
I've tried 3 or 4 different
okay,
chargers.
yeah, no, I thought you would have obviously, but that's just sort of double check. So yeah, we would expect normally that when you're using a charger and cable that is pretty standard, that it would go up to the 90, 100%. One of the things that is based on the way that the battery is being read is that when you unplug the power, there's a 10 to 12% variance of when it's being charged and what it reports, and when it's not being charged, what it reports. So that 10, 15% fluctuation is definitely normal and expected. So yeah, that's just another factor. But normally we would expect that your device overnight would charge. There's not a specific way to recalibrate the
Mhm.
battery per se. So might be worth having a chat to tech support and just ruling out some of the other factors there. On the previous units you had, that wasn't the case. Is that right? It's only this.
That's right. I mean, I did have the jumping around to the percentages like you guys were talking about, but I was always able to get it to charge fully. And I've been in the tech industry a while, and you always know something's charging when it gets warm, and this unit doesn't get warm anymore.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, there's certainly the 10 to 15% variation is fully expected, and is just a response to it not having a really sophisticated battery gauge custom chip. So it's more traditional in the way it assesses the battery fullness.
All right. So basically, because I know I sent an email to support about this a couple months ago, and they were going to do some research. I never heard back, and I got busy and whatever. So I guess what should I do next?
Yeah, look, look. I think Ben's our primary. Ben and David are our tech support people.
Yep.
I'm more the software dev,
Yeah.
but I think if you just make contact generally,
Yep.
and that'll get followed up.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Wesley. We're going to go to Leo.
Hey everyone,
Hey,
it's
Leo.
Leo.
Hello.
Yeah, that was a great presentation. Awesome demos. I'm really excited for BT Town and for the AI features. I have two questions for you guys. So the first one is about BT Town. So while I was waiting for my BT Braille to arrive, I registered with the BT Speak, and now I can't use my username. So that's the one problem I'm having with BT Braille. So I don't know if there's just if it's a matter of maybe creating an authentication system with a username and password. But yeah, right now it's just relying on a username. So when I try to log in, it just says that username has been taken. So I mean, I could create another one, but I just thought I would mention it.
So are you talking about the username for BT Town?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know that right now we don't have a facility for users themselves to do that. I think that may change at some point, but I think we have a dedicated email address that Chris has set up so that you can email him or whoever is monitoring that and let them know. Chris, is it bttown at blazie.tech?
That's correct. It's BT-town at Blazie.tech with an E at the end of town. Yeah, so Leo, I'll help you out to get that changed. I, I don't have a way to report who's logged in or not, but I can generate that, and you can have whatever name you want. Well, within reason. Actually, that's a good thing to bring up here. Uh, I didn't realize until today that the way the database schema was originally created by the students has a limitation on the name, so it has to be 12 characters or less, and just a few special characters like dash and underscore are allowed. But we'll get you sorted out.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Um, the other question I had was about the review mode. So it sounds like you guys are deprecating it, right?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention. So with the March update going forward, all of the inbuilt Blazie apps are now self-voicing, whereas before that time, they were being interpreted by the inbuilt screen reader BRL and that's why sometimes things talk twice or didn't talk when we'd expect and so on. The only area where review mode is relevant is obviously in the shell. So what we've done, because RCord is such a common key combination for repeat last message, we have moved the review command from RCord to VCord. So think of V as in review. And when you're in the shell, in Bash or whatever, the command prompt, you can go into review as before. And there are some variants of the review command. It's a BRL facility that lets you, that when you're in review, if the screen updates, you'll see what's going on, or you can lock the screen. And that's VCord with .7 and .8. They're a bit obscure, but at any rate, it's been deprecated in the apps themselves because it's not relevant, but it's still available on a new assignment, VCord for review, in the command prompt.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just kind of worried about it because the review mode has been such a useful tool for me, especially like when it comes to debugging or
Of course, no, that was an
reviewing.
oversight on my part not to
Yeah.
say where it had been moved to. It's
So
all in
so
the release notes, but yeah, so
yeah, just to give you a quick example. So like the other day I was checking for program updates, right, from the BT management menu, and it just gave me that indicator, right? It just did the vibration thing, but I couldn't actually check to see what the apt package manager was actually doing, which would have been really useful. So it wasn't in the terminal, but it's just something to keep in mind.
look, let me thank you for mentioning that because in general we've switched everything over to self-voicing, but and this is necessary for how the BT Braille works as well now that we've merged the two. Let us go and have a look at that because I understand what you're saying. So yes, all right. I think that's something I hadn't considered when we were doing that. We may be able to do something. So thanks for that note.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks, Leo. We're going to go to Nancy.
I had a couple questions about BT Town. Can I chat with an individual user?
Without
Like,
involving the whole
yeah,
room.
yeah.
Not at
Yes.
this time. I don't know if that is planned, but at this time, no. It's kind of a group chat or nothing.
Okay.
At least right now.
Okay. And then
That uh,
go ahead.
sorry, Andrea. Yeah, that's in the infrastructure. That was part of the original plan. I don't think it's public facing at this point, but yeah, we have. I think it was called a whisper command, is how we defined it in the spec. So we're working on that, but we had to cut some things to make the basics work.
Sure. Okay. And then the other question then is just for that is the private rooms or the rooms remind me of sort of my old days on the mushes. So I was going to ask if we can describe the private room we land in, but that's probably obscure and not likely. Um, so the other question I have is um, so on these AI tools, for people who are early adopters of the BT Braille, are we able to use those tools or do we need to activate our maintenance agreements first or how does that work?
So Tim, they
Tim
should be
here.
on the
Yeah.
BT Braille, right?
Sorry, just
Yeah.
unmuting myself. um, Certainly, you as an early adopter, I would. We just need to get everyone on. I don't want to talk about early adopter too much in the public group. But the plan is that they would work while you're an early adopter, but not everyone's machine may be up to date to the same level right at the moment. So we can cover that offline on the list
Got it.
with you.
Yep, I will do that once I get. Anyway, yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Hi, Elijah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear-
Okay, so I was wondering, like, when do you think the actual, like the production case for the BT Braille will be ready in the turtleback case? Do you have like a timeline for that yet?
Elijah, it's Brian Blazie. How are you?
Good.
Good. I don't have a timeline on the turtleback case yet, but thank you for the reminder that we need to get them a mock-up of this unit. We've been so busy getting the early adopter units out that I forgot about sending one over to Turtleback so they can make a case for us.
And what about like the non 3D printed case? Like, when do you think that will be ready?
I don't think it will be. I think we're going to 3D print these.
Oh, okay.
There are features on the 3D printed case that can't be molded, and we like the way that it came out, and the newer 3D printers are so good that I don't think we're going to get any advantage. The product would have to get larger, and I don't think it will be as nice. We may change our mind on that if this proves to be a problem.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Elijah.
welcome.
All right. Thanks, Elijah.
Thanks so much for joining us for tonight's webinar. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us. Our email address is info, I-N-F-O, @blazie.net. You can also call us at 772-214-1616, or you can visit our website at www.blazietech.com. That's BLAZIETECH.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.